What is going on, guys? Will Bullock, hanging out, having fun. We're up here at Mad Vapes in good old Knoxville, Tennessee. Ain't no place like East Tennessee. And I got something kind of back to basics, very, very entry-level vape knowledge. Alright, and what we're going to be talking about is something that is kind of overhyped right now. Kind of, maxed out, if you will, in every aspect, when really maxed out might not be the best application for what you're doing. And what I'm talking about, of course, is propylene glycol to vegetable glycerin ratios. Now, before we can talk about how they compare to each other in a ratio setting, we got to know exactly what they are first. All right, and propylene glycol and vegetable glycerin are pretty simple, little compounds. Propylene glycol is commonly found in a lot of different things that we're used to inhaling, rescue inhalers, nebulizer treatments. That medication has been suspended in propylene glycol for a very long time. And what propylene glycol does for us as vapors, it adds flavor, it adds throat hit, and it makes your liquids not as thick. So it does make your liquids thinner, and some people don't like that, and some people like that. Some people don't mind either way. But that's when you get those high-popping, super sweet, in-your-face kind of flavors. Now, vegetable glycerin, on the other hand, is a little bit different. It's much thicker. It's much more viscous, if you will. It's sweet. It makes the big, chunky, juicy, nice, dense clouds that all these cloud chasers are after. And, everybody's nowadays is all Max VG, Max VG, Max VG. Max VG is great. I like Max VG sometimes. And I'll explain more about that later. But now we're going to talk about the ratios. What happens when you mix these two components together? And most of the time you'll see your PG-VG ratios. They start, 50-50, half and half PG, half VG. 70-30s are pretty popular, 75-25. 80-20 is probably the most popular, blend PG-VG ratio that there is on the market. And then we have our max VGs. And when I talk max VGE liquids, let me, kind of define my terminology here. When I tell you that this is a max VGE liquid, what I'm telling you is that this is at least a 90-10 ratio. 90% VG, 10% PG. That's a max VG. 80-20s and things like that can be referred to as max VG. Or, we can have a 70-30 that's a max VG. It's all the VG they could get into that one flavor. And you know why? It's because of the different flavoring components. Yes, you can have a 70-30 max VG because I can't put any more vegetable glycerin into that recipe to make it work. So the term max VG can be, loosely defined. But we're going to talk strictly ratios. Screw the terminology. We're talking ratios. And I've got us a few different ratios to look at. We've got us a 50-50, a 75-25, and my max VG, a 90-10. We're going to start with the 50-50, and one of the best 50-50 blends I've ever had has to go out to Guar Fluids. Big shout out to those guys over at Mount Baker Vapor doing a phenomenal job. And if you look at this bottle of liquid, you will see very thin, water-like in consistency. You'll notice that it doesn't cling to the glass all that hard. It is fairly watery, and that's, indicative of a higher PG content. You see how it just kind of, it doesn't gel, constrict together or anything like that. It's thin. It's thin. The bottom line, 50-50s are thin. And why are they thin? Is because it's got half propylene glycol. Now, what does that give you as a vapor? That gives you more flavor. All right, the propylene glycol is going to carry all those flavoring additives over, and they're going to bring them into your taste buds so that you can taste those awesome liquids, and it's going to be awesome. Now, is a 50-50 blend good for a rebuildable setting? Depends on the flavor. Some 50-50 blends don't like as much heat. The higher VG content definitely holds up to the heat better. But if I'm rocking it old school, when I've got my Vapor Flask DNA 40 and I've got a K-Fun on it, I'm not going to put this in there. I'm going for my 50-50s because I'm flavor chasing, guys. That's exactly what's up. Next up, we have the 75-25. And this goes right along with your 80-20 blends in that area. If you look, it is much thicker. Kind of clings to the bottle a little bit more. And let me find a... And when you look at it, you'll notice that when it drips, it is much thicker, and you can even create a stream out of it. Alright, and that's because it is much more viscous. And I just made a mess, and that's okay. Because you know what? We're making YouTube videos, and you're looking at my ceiling. That's one of my favorite lights. Don't look at it. It's one of my favorites. It is my light. I love lamp. Anyways, alright. Camera stable. We're back. We're rocking and rolling. We're good to go. The 75-25. What's good about this, you know, the 75-25 80-20s is you can drip this. It does hold up to the heat well, or you can tank it. You'll know, if you know, we use a little common sense here. Let's think about this. Your thinner liquids are going to wick better in your tanks, and that's because it's easier for that liquid to pass through the wicking material into that coil head and saturate that cotton thoroughly. The higher the VG content, the less it really likes tanks. You know, that's why in a max VG setting, it's dripper only juice, guys. I mean, you can run it through a couple tanks, but they've got to be designed for it. But that's why a lot of folks like to go with an 80-20 blend for their premium e-liquids, because you can use it through both avenues, whether it be, you know, dripping or tanking it. You can do them both, either or. And you still carry good flavor. You still got nice, big, chunky cloud vapor production. It works well. This is actually what I'm dripping on here right now. Currently is a 70-30, and it's tasty. The old label's cracking, getting hot, making vapor. I'll probably only get one rip off of this, but that's alright, it's a little dry. But, you know, you can get good clouds off of a 75-25, 70-30, 80-20 blend, no problem. No problem with density on that guy. Next up, we have your max VGs, and if you look, it'll be a little bit harder to tell with this guy, but it is much thicker. Much thicker. If you look, it clings to the bottle well. It's kind of more gelatinous in consistency. We'll get us a little drippy drip here. And if you look, this stuff streams together and sticks together. It binds. Even on my sheet of paper here, we just kind of conduct this test. This is always a cool one. I've got a little pool of clear liquid there that's tough to see. But if you look, it doesn't really run down the paper all that fast. And that's because it's very thick. It wants to stick to itself. And the good thing about that is when we take it and we apply it to our coils, you'll notice it kind of ride on top of that coil for a little bit first. And that's because it takes it a little bit longer to work its way into the inner workings of your wick. And now, nice big, juicy, thick, tasty, beautiful vapor. This is my Joker's Gas. If you guys haven't tried my Joker's Gas, you definitely need to hit it up. It is one of my personal favorites. Call me biased. It's a nice dark berry with some citrus finishes to it. It's my go-to liquid. It's what I cloud chase with. It's what I comp with. And it's absolutely tasty stuff. Come check it out. But guys, when it boils down to it, there is no right and wrong PG-VG ratio to use in your device. It all boils down to personal preference. Just like anything else in vaping, guys, it's all about what you like. Yes, you, behind the cell phone screen, you. It's all about what you like. You know, there's a million different things out there. I've, you know, had liquids that, you know, one of my old school lines, discreet e-liquids. Those guys, their hype, their gimmick was they wanted a liquid, didn't put out any vapor. You can hit it as hard as you want to, you'll exhale minimal vapor. And then I've got liquids like my Joker's Gas, which, guys, you ain't hiding it. Alright, it puts out the thick, juicy clouds, and there's a big difference there, and it's because of the PG-VG ratio. So it's all about what you want out of your device. You know, everybody always asks me, oh, Will, what's the best mod? Oh, Will, what's the best tank? What's the best juice? There's really no good way to tell, guys. It's all about what you want out of your vaping experience. Joker's Gas is good. Well, guys, I'm going to wrap up here. I hope this video has been helpful. Hope it's been informative. If it has, please hit the like and the subscribe button. I'd appreciate it greatly. And as always, if you guys want to, you know, a specific topic covered, or you want to see a video of us doing cartwheels in the parking lot, leave it in the comments section down below. Let us know if you have battery safety questions, if you've got coil building questions. Let us know. We'll be more than glad to make a video about it. No problem at all. Guys, please be safe out there. Things happen every day. Be safe. Make good decisions. Always stay blessed, my friends. And when you're hanging out up at Mad Vapes, you're hanging out on the couch, you're cutting the grass, Hey guys, let's keep it cloudy. Guys, come see us. 10542 Kingston Pike. My name's Will Bolick. I'm the senior store manager up here at Mad Vapes in Knoxville. You guys keep it cloudy, my friends. We'll see you guys next time.